Buddy, Jonathan Noble here, divorce and family law attorney. Back at the junior college today for a little bit of insight through the lens of a divorce lawyer. Today's a very important topic, especially geared toward the younger guys in my audience. I get a large demographic of guys in the 18 to 25-year-old and 26 to 35-year-old. I want to talk about domestic violence and how to stand clear of domestic violence charges. It's a real problem for people who are accused of domestic violence charge and they're actually innocent. The crux of the issue is this. In the way most courts and most jurisdictions that I'm familiar with look at domestic violence is you don't have to be, it doesn't have to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt like a criminal charge does against you. It just has to be proven by a preponderance of the evidence. So it usually comes down to credibility. A lot of these cases are what I would call like push and shove kind of cases. They're not truly domestic violence, and they didn't warrant a filing for domestic violence in the first place. But a lot of the cases that I've seen hundreds of these cases, it comes down to somebody wants a leg up in a divorce proceeding, or they want custody of children, or they want the marital residence, so they try to say that the other person threatened them with serious bodily injury. It's unbelievable. So what can you do about it? Well, there's a couple of quick tips for you. One, if you get a whiff of somebody that has the mental state where they could conceivably try to accuse you of domestic violence, even though they themselves know it's not true, get away from them. Get away from them. You could always go back and get your possessions later. But an even better thing to do is vet very carefully before you bring somebody like that into your life. If you're dating someone and you get a whiff of this kind of behavior or the potential for this kind of behavior or they're irrational, take a step back and really assess if you want to be alone with this person. I've seen situations where guys have been brought into domestic violence court and, it's a he said, she said. And it's really a close call as to who's more credible. Carry that cell phone with you. Almost everybody's got a cell phone. If somebody starts to attack you or threaten to, you can video them. And you could use that as evidence. Now, run this by an attorney in your jurisdiction, but if someone's accusing you of physical violence and you haven't touched them and you're trying to get away from them, just hold the phone up to your body or hold it out and narrate, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing. Because if you don't, you might walk into a courtroom and try to be in a position where it's your word against the other person's word. But if you have a video, the court should look at that and make a decision based on that kind of evidence. If they've written anything to you that says, I'm going to get you out of here, or I'm going to file a domestic violence claim against you, or I hate you, or whatever, you should use that too. You should memorialize it and preserve that and take that with you into court if you're dragged into court on one of these bogus claims. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're writing to somebody that you're going to hurt them, you're going to stack the odds against you. Or if you actually do hurt them, or you hold a weapon out, even a baseball bat, and say, I'm going to hit you or threaten them in any way, don't do that. Do not do that. You're going to make it virtually impossible to defend that kind of charge. And again, the burden of proof from the other side in most jurisdictions for a domestic violence claim is not beyond a reasonable doubt. It's just by a preponderance of the evidence where the court could believe the other person 51% and you 49%. Go live your best life. Don't deal with people like this who are crazy or have the ability to do this to you. Share this with someone who needs to see it. Stay safe out there. Spend your time on things that bring you joy, not people that bring problems into your life, all right? Trust me, I've seen hundreds of these cases. Usually they get resolved, but sometimes they don't, especially if someone has mental health issues that are unresolved. They could just want to be the center of attention in a courtroom and bury you in the process. Don't let that be you, all right? An ounce of prevention is worth 10 pounds of cure here. Be careful out there.